Welcome. Hello, everybody. Episode 185 coming at you on YouTube, on the apps, not on Spotify. I should probably be on Spotify. I don't know. Not on Stitcher, not on realplayer.rm from the early 2000s, if everybody remembers that. Here we go again. Another episode. But I have good news, guys. Very good news. First of all, there's a lot of shit on my camera lens there then now that I'm looking at it. This is going to be a short one. I don't have a lot to say. That's a lie. I have a whole fuck ton to say, but I don't have a bunch of stuff ready to do it. I only have, the only story I have prepared is we're going to listen to Vivek Ramaswamy urinate live on a microphone while talking to Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, and the world's wealthiest human to ever exist, who is also the world's greatest victim, because the world seems to have it out for him, according to him and all his weird right-wing Nazi fuckhead friends. Elongate Musk. Okay, they did a Twitter Spaces, and Alex and Vivek pulled the, I don't know his audio setup. Maybe it was on like a remote lavalier. I think he probably just had his phone in his hand or his pocket or something. But he went to the bathroom with his urine sounds happening. Now, perhaps though, that's just a conspiracy. Maybe he was lightly tending to his fish tank, which can create similar noises, or perhaps he is a brook expert. Maybe he's a fan of brooks and he does recreational brooks. That is to say, small streams inside his house, sort of like bonsai, but with streams. Is that a thing? Brookside. Okay, that's it. So there you go. Podcast is over. We did it. God, there's crap on them. I don't just want to smear it with my thumb. I was hoping to find maybe a microfiber rag, but let's do a little light touching there. That's fine. That's good. Kitty cat's in the back corner. That's pretty fun. Anybody in LA need a beautiful, wonderful cat? I'm fostering her. We really hoped. I really hoped that it was going to turn into a moment of animal glory and love, and be this thing in my world that brought me the sanity I so desperately crave. Always feels just out of reach, and maybe the cat was going to do it. She was a stray. I started feeding behind the building. She was starving. She looked like shit. She was terrible. So I started feeding her. I have a big old heart, but I'm not a cat guy. I don't have a cat guy. And so it turns out, yeah, it's just this creature that meows at me, and then I feel guilty for neglecting her. And then I go into numerous thought gymnastics about how terrible a person I am because I'm not fulfilling this cat's emotional life that she deserves. And she's trapped in a fucking room with me all day. We have a bedroom door. I let her out. Obviously, I don't really want her trapped here, but the whole situation is just not good. But she's adorable. Beautiful fucking cat. We do have a lead. My roommate, someone in his office, someone at his work, is maybe gonna wants a cat or something. So we're all holding out on that. Put on your prayer hats. Say good words to Richard Dawkins or whatever the fuck you celebrate. Whatever baby, whomever is their lord, and maybe we'll get a cat placed with people who want to have a cat. And yeah, I try to, you gotta want to. And it also just completely confirms my lifelong, and this started at about the age of 1, my lifelong knowledge that do not want to have children. I'd like to be a dad to like grown up kids who are already doing fine. That'd be okay. I'd like to be like a 65-year-old guy who hangs out with like a 25-year-old people and be like, all right, well, just make sure you got your passport, that's takes longer than you think. I could do that. That'd be great. Here's a gift card. Yeah, well, yeah, caffeine's really addictive. Yep. See, I could totally do that. I'd be a great father to adult humans. So I am looking for people to adopt if you'd like. If you want to sign up below. Don't forget to smash that adopt me button. Yeah, so I don't have anything to say. Honestly, I'm always doing this. Why are there fruit flies in here? What the fuck? There's probably cat food feeding them somewhere. They've been hounding me. I don't even eat fruit. Yeah, I'm just going to do some personal rambling, and then we're going to listen to Vivek P, and that'll be the episode. That's all we're doing tonight. Although, because it's me, this means it'll be short for me, which probably means an hour and a half about stuff. But yeah, December 15th is the night here, Friday. I did just spend the last 45 minutes farting around with OBS. I updated it. It was lagging horrible. Now it seems to be working. So Good God, I hope it's working. And a new angle on the Shrimp Squad, by the way. But yeah, thank you for supporting everybody on on Patreon. Y'all are heroes. I've decided I think I'm going to give myself permission with the income I've gotten from Patreon this year, which amounts to over $100 total, for which I'm overwhelmingly grateful. You cannot understand how much it means that even just a few people are willing to throw down on my bullshit this year. And go ahead and quit, because I'm definitely not fulfilling my obligation publicly. But I am working hard on this other project I've talked about. So once that's over, once I can kind of get past that, stuff is going to resume. But I think I'm going to take my Patreon earnings and buy a new mixing board. I find it really annoying. I've had this mixing board since 2010. It's working still, but it doesn't do a thing I think I need, which is I need two-way audio. I guess these newer mixing boards, and for about $100 I can get a really nice quality one, can get me two-way audio through somehow so that I can hear my voice and not have to use the computer output audio, which is why I have to use a separate iPhone plug here, or iPhone thing that comes out of my computer, like speaker dongle thingy. It's not, I don't know what it's called, but I don't necessarily need one, but I think I can justify that as an investment in the show, and maybe it'll spark new life that is desperately needed. So thank you guys for supporting. Looking forward to sharing the project I'm working on. That will also make y'all go, yeah, that's fine, Hank. I don't feel bad now about that your shitty ass scheduling and how bad you are doing your stuff on time. Now that I've seen what you've been working on, so your money is not. I feel like I'm starting to get accusatory with it, but yeah, it's not like I'm doing. Not like I'm living high on the hog off the $19 to $24 a month on Patreon I've been getting, but it does total up to being able to buy a mixing board, which is fucking cool. So and also just the emotional kind of. I'm not the only person blowing into my sales here going, come on, baby. So you're helping me keep my sales moving a little bit. That really means the world to me. Yeah, thank you. So keep doing that. And we're going to build up better things. I just haven't had the energy to get it done. I'm actually going to be doing some gaming stuff. I've already recorded a few Valheims. I just love I always feel like I have to justify it because I don't get any feedback on whether people watch it or like it or anything. So, those are so much easier for me to produce, because what happens is to do the podcast, like the November one, I did one in November, was 3 hours, and that shit just beats me up in terms of emotional energy and physical energy and just the ways that my body operates, and so that it takes me not like I don't go and I lay down in a corner, but to get all the clips done and to get everything done eats away like 3 to 5 days of effort and recovery, and but also kind of it's emotionally heavy stuff, and that clicks me over into a different brain space than I really have much capacity for right now. Relating to the other project, the main reasoning isn't so much all that, because ultimately I'd love to be able to just produce an episode or two a week, maybe, and some clips perhaps. Although to be truthfully honest, like the model of doing a podcast where I just do like 2 episodes a week, and people find that sufficient to justify $5 to $10 donation a month, and I just do that consistently, that is more where my dream would lie, because doing the fucking clips on YouTube is so annoying. That's where the audience is. That's sort of my background in where I've worked. But yeah. But anyway, I still would love to get to a point where I could just do that, do it regularly, build an audience, and that would be fun, and work on other projects and stuff. I want to make documentaries. I have this whole idea about entropy that keeps rattling around in my head. And I want to relate all these metaphors to explain entropy and help people understand what it means in terms of their job, in terms of work. What are you doing when you're working? Someone is paying you to use your entropy gathering power. I think human beings are the most anti-entropic mechanism in the universe. Our ability to store information in our heads and our ability to gather things, atoms into things using our hands. We're really like physically wired, plus our legendary stamina. You couldn't design a better robot to do work. We're truly work creatures to sit there and just fiddle, because we have the brains for it. We have the information processing in our brains for it. We can teach and we can learn. And then we have the precision of the physics for it. No other animal has these precisions. There's some chimps that do, I guess this is a thing, I don't know, probably wrong. But they pick up stuff with like you see it, like their thumb on the side of their finger, and humans are just like, we're Spanish guitar. We can play Spanish guitar, right? No chimpanzees playing classical gas. I knew I had one in my brain somewhere. But it's all about entropy. It's all about value is the gathering of entropy. I've been sorting everything out, and also consciousness is how the universe records information. That's also a thing. That's why it's such a crime to erase consciousness, so that motherfuckers like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk can have extra large boats. Very stupid reason to erase consciousness from the universe. Because functionally, then the universe is only cannot be remembered by anything. It stops remembering itself. It still happens, but it's not recorded. See what I mean? See, gotcha. Told you I figured it all out. What else? Yeah, that's where things are. Oh yeah, so yeah, I don't have the opportunity cost of doing like the show the way I want to, prepping and everything else is so big because this other project I need is like on a crunch, and I kind of need the energy and the time to focus on that. It's much easier for me to sustain my focus over time, like across multiple days, if I keep my head in the game in that way. And that's really, really valuable. And I'm starting to like kind of assert my boundaries regarding what I'm sure is ADHD. I'm not so positive quite. I'm much more positive about autism in terms of self-diagnosing. Neither have been formally diagnosed yet, but as far as I'm learning how ADHD also functions, I'm very confident that's what I am too. Relating to how you task switching, task initiation, all that other stuff. So, and just got to get myself. I'm trying to give myself a little grace about how shitty I feel in terms of health. Like my cardio is so bad right now, and I keep threatening to start working out. And I've been doing some shit, and I can ultimately get my muscles back. I think I have nice arms when I work out and stuff. Fairly athletic bod, despite it being covered in a layer of stress fat. And but the hair falling out, the beard falling out is still, this weird. Like I needed extra shit to worry about the last 3 years. More motherfucking God, huh? Thanks, Richard Dawkins. Thanks a lot, jerk. Cursing me. It's not just the beard, it's up in the head, it's on the side. But the one place it's not falling out is my balls and my back, which is really frustrating. Although as far as I know, I have cancer all over my back. I can't fucking see back there. So maybe who knows? But yeah, the goal for 2024 is to keep my eyelashes and my eyebrows. That's where I am in life. That's how you know things are going great, when that's your goal. But things will settle down. So the schedule is just going to be shit for now. Christmas, this will be my December episode, unless I get a wild hair at some point during the next few weeks and I decide to do more. But I am going to do some Valheim stuff, so look for those. That'll be kind of my podcast, because that's a lot easier for me to sort of, it's still a pain in the ass to set up the camera and all that other stuff. Eventually, I'd love to have a dedicated space in my own world. If I had a house, I'd have its separate room for recording. But like it's just quick clicking on Valheim, turning on the camera, easy for me to like emotionally do that, because I do that kind of anyway. It's sort of I take breaks and play games and stuff, and that way I can maybe get a few videos out. Plus, there's just a bunch, so I'm going to record some tonight. But there's a whole bunch of stuff I've not been doing in Valheim because I've been saving it for the show, for you, right? I want to share. I'm going to build a wolf costume. That's going to be fucking cool. There's a hot tub in the game that I've got to build. They just gave us a bunch of Christmas decorations. So, my whole thing is decorations. I'm just a decorations guy. That's all I do. That's why I'm here on the YouTube, decorating your ears. And you're okay. So what? Okay, that none of that was gonna work at all. So yeah, that's more or less what I got. I shouldn't, and I want to, but I won't go on too much. But because I'm gonna cry. My friend Kenny DeForest, comedian. If you're following comedy, you might have seen his name. He hadn't yet gotten huge, but he's someone I started with. He was a wonderful guy. He died this week. He got hit by a bike on Saturday he was on his bike, hit by a car. and there was a GoFundMe and people were donating. I gave a little bit. I shared it. And I've fallen out of touch with most of my comedy pals. I'm still in touch with some. But he was someone who I had started comedy with in the first like 4 or 5 years when I did stand up in Chicago for 4 years. I mean, I did it quite a lot. I was out every night for like 4 years. So I was bonded. You kind of bond with your core group. I guess it's a little bit like boot camp or some sort of experience. You know, I think every comedian has that like central early years, and that's a very formative time. It still remains one of my best times of my life. I really miss being in a comedy world and being a comedian, and I enjoyed having a little bit of stature and meaning like I'd earned my way into the scene as just some wackadoo nobody who just kept showing up, and man, we had so much fun. And he was a guy that was a little bit ahead of me. He's younger than me. I mean, most I started when I was 29, but fucking brilliant guy, talented, and a beautiful soul, like just an amazing dude, and just fucking healthy. He was doing great. He was living in New York a long time, and and I think he might have been moving to LA or somehow. I've been out of touch. I haven't talked to him in 5 years, or since in 7 or 8 years actually, which is just crazy how old everybody is. Big smile. I'm gonna cry if I keep talking. He died on Wednesday. And there's been an outpouring, obviously, and there's a lot of, he really touched a lot of people. People really loved him, and it was such a sudden thing. He was so much more to go and more to share, and he was a kind, great, just a wonderful energy of a person. Just, yeah, I really wanted to see him again. I mean, like he was like, not everybody I started comedy, not everybody you want to be like, you know, when you see him again, it's always nice to see people you haven't seen in a while. It'd probably be most people I'd be glad to see. But he's one of those dudes, and some people I'm still somewhat close to. Again, I've drifted away from the comedy world, and I haven't really clicked in with a lot of the people I was buddies with in a long time. This last several years have been really hard, but I've isolated myself a lot in the last several years, I guess is what you should take from that statement. And but he's a guy that we knew each other well. We were really, I wasn't as close as others, obviously. I don't know if I'm trying to be sensitive about that claim, but man, it would have been so nice to see him and give him a hug. And we had some stupid inside jokes. I just, had some million memories of him this last week, and a lot of tears too. So yeah. Kenny DeForest, look him up. He's got some good shit on YouTube. He's done late night shows, and I think he was going to go on to do a lot of really wonderful things. I don't know the circumstances of the car accident or the bike. I don't know what fucking cars, man. But yeah, it sucks. So, all right. Well, that's a great way to lead into Vivek Ramaswamy urinating on a mic, on a hot mic. All right. Jeez. Whew. I mean, yeah, I swam in his parents' pool. We did a bunch of shows at his hometown, and we stayed at his parents' house, and they had a pool. We just got drunk all day before the shows, just hanging out in the pool. Me and him and a few other people. So yeah, I have some fun stories and stuff. But all right, well, okay, there you go. There's your podcast. Whew. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Cincinnati, the Inquirer. Vivek Ramaswamy bathroom break caught on mic during X Spaces live stream with Elon Musk. The world's finest had assembled. Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, Elon Musk. You already heard that. Vivek, bunch of other goofballs. And this moron, this guy who's pretending to be qualified for the leader of the free world, this is like complete monorail guy scoundrel. Didn't turn off his mic on the piss. He might have even done that on purpose. Honestly, that's not a bad thing, because he gets Hollywood movers and shakers, big shots like myself, talking about him. Guardian here reports Vivek Ramaswamy appears to broadcast himself urinating during live X talk. Like I said at the beginning, though, how do we know he was peeing? He might have been entertaining his tiny streams hobby. He does Brooks Eye Little brooks, little bubbling brooks. Some people do that. Maybe he was slowly pouring Sunny D into a tall jug, or from a jug into a tall glass. That'll make a similar noise, I guess, right? We got a little news report here. This is from The Project. Let's hear this guy.
And you'd think after all the time we spent on Zoom in recent years, people would have learned to mute by now. Well, not US Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. He forgot and went to the bathroom during an online chat with Elon Musk, as well as others. You might want to call it a live stream.
I would have called it a hot urine, is what I would have said there if I was a newscaster. You might have called it a hot urine. Let's back it up a little bit. You can start hearing it right away. Just like tickle, tickle, trickle, trickle.
You know, humans in America, humans in
somebody's got their thing
Asia,
open
and everywhere else.
Their phone open in the bathroom.
That's Alex Jones. You know shit's fucked up when Alex Jones is trying to keep things on together, right? Oh no, somebody's clown got loose.
That's Vivek. Vivek, that's your phone, Vivek. I'm not able to mute you. Vivek.
That's the Krasenstein guy. I mean, honestly, this is, of course, we assume he's peeing, but that could have been, unless he's confirmed it himself, which I don't know. But it really could have. He could have had the water on in somewhere. Sometimes people do low flow. Sometimes I don't turn it on full blast, you know? It doesn't always sound, sometimes it sounds trickle, 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 right? I'm trying to be benefit of the doubt right here. Let's keep listening.
Perfect. Go ahead, Elon.
Sorry about that.
So, well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great. Thank you.
Oh, shit. Look at this cavalcade of winners here. We got Jackson Hinkle, Jack Posobiec, Vivek, this Elon Musk guy, one of the Krasenstein brothers, somebody named Sulaim. I don't know who that is. Yeah. So real hot shot stuff. I picked up on this from my buddy Dan's podcast Knowledge Fight, which is a show that breaks down Alex Jones movie clips and stuff, and it's a very smart, good show. They've got a nice audience, and he's been doing it a long time. I'm super proud of him. He's another guy I did comedy with back in the day. Now he's got this Alex Jones. The fucking lawyers from Alex that for the Sandy Hook parents hired this guy Dan to be a consultant. Like, he doesn't just fuck around. It's kind of an academic project almost. It's really interesting. So Knowledge Fight's a great show. So this is where I picked up on this. This happened.
Well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great. Thank you.
Did he wash his hands? I didn't hear that.
Did he wash his hands? You're supposed to wash your hands. You know, do you? If you pee on it, do you? You're just, I mean, I do, because I think it's an opportunity to rid my hands of germs. But I don't think I don't pee on my hands just because you get your hands near. It is a polite. I'm not talking. I don't think it's the grossest thing people do. I think touching a doorknob and not washing your hand is grosser than touching your genitals and not washing your hand, is what I'm saying. Unless you got some sweaty shit going on or whatever. Maybe it's been a while. And maybe, of course, you should definitely wash your hands. I'm not anti-hand washing. But like, if you wipe your butt and you don't get anything on your hands, had you really done anything gross? Just because you got close, about as close as it gets. A couple apply thick, right? But I don't know. I still think I'm not again. People should wash their hands. I'm for that social norm sustaining us into the future we all deserve.
Big of hands.
I know. I was shocked when I heard it. I'm like, people still use Twitter. That is amazing. I didn't know that.
And Elon Musk, he's meant to be the guy.
Why is there such a giant laugh? Is this in front of an audience, or is that just the crew? Hold on, let's listen.
I didn't hear that. There was no washing of hands.
I know. I was shocked when I heard it. I'm like, people still use Twitter. That is amazing. I didn't know that.
And Elon Musk,
What? That's a huge laugh. Is that that's a giant? What the fuck? Yeah, I still use Twitter. There's addictive tendencies more than likely going on, but also it's like a way, I think, for people to be able to communicate with me, and it's my largest of the platforms I've gotten, which is pathetic and sad. But I mean, I still catch a lot of interesting news and kind of, but yeah, honestly, if I could never use Twitter, I'd be better. Okay, let's keep going.
he's meant to be the guy who sends us into space, and we still haven't figured out a tool to mute when someone's doing something we don't want to hear. Yeah. How is that not?
That's right. Well, that's why we got to go to space. No, in space, no one can hear you pee. So it's nice about space. It's probably the only upside.
Thing yet, right?
Don't you find, though, more people are just forgetting to unmute? Like, how many meetings do you still sit in where people are like, you're on mute?
Yeah.
We can hear you masturbating, and we can tell because you keep saying the word stepmom over and over.
Yeah.
So annoying.
And they're just getting into it. No, you
urgent.
listen.
Yeah.
Get involved here.
Have you guys ever been stuck, well, caught out with the microphone on that we all wear, ducking to the bathroom and not letting the audio people know?
these are newscaster types. There's no way that that's exactly it. Most people don't have this occupational risk. I mean, more and more people do wear mics, not even in newscaster or like, entertainment or media scenarios. A lot of people have mics that they use at their jobs to communicate across the job site, for instance, in all kinds of industries. So how about this kind of thing happens quite a bit? Not like a Jeffrey Toobin. That's the worst case scenario. Well, I guess I could imagine worse, but that's the guy in CNN who like stopped a Zoom, was done with his turn and then just started, having a little tube, a Zoom tube on himself.
Some sound people have told me some great stories about high-profile people just going to the bathroom with their mics on, and I have been scarred. So every time I go, I'm like, unplug me.
Well, I've always been...
It's not like, as funny as it is and as silly as this is, everybody goes to the bathroom. Let's quit acting like we don't all shit and poop when we're on all these disgusting. If you include the number of pores on your body, our entire being, we're just these meat sacks with holes everywhere that is constantly oozing out fluids, including your pores. Sweat. I'm talking about sweat. So like, yeah, I would be in the bathroom on a hot mic rambling. I talk a lot to myself. I'm often imagining myself in various scenarios having a range of emotional confrontations, emotionally heavy confrontations. Could be conversations that have happened, that might happen, that are impossible to happen. It doesn't matter. I'll just start having those. That's what happens to me, and then I get all worked up. Doesn't happen every time, but I'll catch myself getting like, and I'm like, Hank, what the fuck are you doing? You're just standing here in the bath. I also do it in my ar and outside my bathroom as well.
Been like that too, but
I feel like I'm about to be outed.
It'd be funny if she just leaned back real far and then just pissed on his face. She's wearing yellow. Perfect outfit for that. He would never see it coming. That's urine camouflage. She's camouflaged. She could be doing it right now.
Honest, I'm looking forward to the project's Christmas party. We're like, play it. This is fun.
All right, get that saccharine personality type of saccharine fair. I don't think that's fair. I withdraw. They seem like a nice bunch, but I like newscaster personalities. I always felt like they're kind of like, especially sort of the silly goofball shows. WGN in Chicago has like this like morning crew that does that, but they get to be funny and joke around. They're kind of God, what a nice deal that would be. My dream job is just to be a sidekick on a good radio show or a good podcast where I don't have to do the fucking tech prep or the video editing or the audio stuff or the publishing, the shit I hate. And they're just like, that guy Hank is weird and crazy, and we pay him to show up and make us all laugh and join in with the chemistry. Well, unfortunately, he's literally incapable of having good chemistry with people. So, but we like him, He'll tell you about the James Webb Space Telescope if you say those words. Did you guys know that? I will, actually. That's it, huh? That's it for that one. Let's jump into the audio stream and just get a little taste for the background, for like the context. This is like an hour and a half. Some guy's YouTube channel here, Farzad, he just posted the whole thing, and we can actually track it in the.
Jackson, I'm going to go to you right after Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I agree that with you there. I think that a lot of the media and a lot of these platforms do want to silence voices because they want their voice to be heard louder. So yeah, I definitely hear you there. I definitely don't. As when it comes to globalists, I think, it's not black and white. You're not either a globalist or you're not. I think people.
They're dissecting the phrase globalists. Always a sign that you're in the company of high caliber individuals. Anytime. God, it's so
all in
gross.
Between, and there's different reasons for why people might feel one way about one, you could say globalist idea and another. So I mean, I don't like painting people like, with a black and white pen, because I feel that everybody.
I don't know this guy. So I'm skipping a little bit.
So you've got the richest guy in the world who knows about lithium-ion batteries, saying, "Get in the lithium refining business." And T, could you just remind us what business you're in?
The lithium refining business.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Oh, sure. I'm sure whoever that is actually does the refining instead of just some corporate ghoul who wears a suit and has meetings. That's so these people that like, oh yes, I'm in mining. Oh yeah, have you ever touched a tool? No, never touched anything. Went near a mine. I get to go in on tours and wear a hard hat. That's kind of fun. As close as I get. Oh, so you don't actually work. You don't actually do the labor. No, of course not. But that's my business. That's the freedom, is to make other people do stuff and then I benefit from it. Fuck, is this an ad? God damn it. YouTube cracked down on their whatchamacallit, on their ad blocker. And I was an ad blocker user for a long time.
Gonna melt, and none of that's true.
Ugh, this guy. Okay, sorry, we're catching back up here in the little. This guy even blocked it off to Vivek peeing, which is nice of him. So we'll start here. Hit play.
All I'm saying, and Elon Musk is promoting an optimistic, pro-human future that the science and evidence shows is real and that we need.
Oh, pro-human. He's pro-human. He wants to populate the Earth and go over to more planet. I have a lot to say about most of that shit, but we're gonna try to keep it to here. So it's getting ready to start. I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Gentlemen, I have to go.
Yeah. 10 seconds.
Carbon
10
dioxide
seconds.
that plants breathe is corporate world government who's.
You know, there's different reasons for and because I feel that everybody falls somewhere in the middle.
All I know is this, that there are people that want a corporate world government whose aim is depopulation, not giving the general public access to technology by lying about resources and literally saying carbon dioxide that plants breathe is evil, and then telling us the world's going to end in 2030. And
literally saying carbon dioxide that plants breathe, like as if that's actually the agenda. We're going to make sure that those plants stop breathing. We've had enough of green chlorophyll, of big chlorophyll chewing up all the plants, making oxygen, providing food and wood fibers and medicines and stuff that comes from plants. As if that's the deal. As if the plants are the problem with the way carbon dioxide is managed on the planet. It's so stupid. And they think their audience is so fucking stupid. That's that's the thing that you really got to pay attention to or think about.
And the ice caps are all going to melt, and none of that's true. So our children basically give up on the future, decide not to have children. That's all I'm saying. And Elon Musk is promoting an optimistic, pro-human future that the science and evidence shows is real and that we need. Gentlemen, I have to go.
Yeah, I just want to be sort of exactly. I want to be very clear about my position. I'm super pro-human, and I mean all humans. You know, humans in America, humans.
Somebody's got their thing,
and everywhere else.
Their phone open in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's Vivek. That's your phone, Vivek. I'm not able to mute you. Vivek, go ahead, Elon.
Sorry about that.
So
it'd be funny if the P sound was just like a real loud, like a big old fire hose, like from UHF.
Well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
So yeah.
Okay, so he didn't deny he was in the bathroom. He did. If he were actually tending to his like tiny stream hobby, or his pouring high fructose corn syrup from one container into another from a tall distance. Although honestly, that might sound a little bit smooth because of viscosity. That's different than water. He was in the bathroom. He definitely owned it. Not a bad idea though, if he was just doing it for publicity. And in the previous eras of American media, we would talk about this for about 50 to 60 days, and they would make documentaries. And journalists like myself who cover it would write books about the experience we had with it. Like when Dan Quayle misspelled potato. This should be a career-ending mistake, but unfortunately it won't be. You know, unfortunately too, he didn't do it like peeing onto like a famous person like the Queen or King Charles.
You know, I'm super pro-human, like for Team Humanity here, and I just think we want to make sure that people have a positive view of the future. And I think I encounter a lot of people who have actually very pessimistic conclusions about the future. And if you say
because people like Elon Musk are in charge, that's why we have pessimistic visions of the future. Because apartheid babies like Elon Musk, because fucking moron fascist. Supporting freaks like that are allowed to run rampant. They don't have to acknowledge borders around different countries. They live in a completely different ecosystem of influence, and their carbon footprint is absolutely enormous. We don't need this fucking idiot to help us kill some people on Mars. We're going to do that without him. Mars is not habitable for humans. I'm not trying to say they think we're just going to go there, but we're not going to terraform it. Its core problem is it doesn't have any way to filter out radiation from the sun. There's no magnetic field, and the main thing is the gravity is only 39% of Earth's gravity. Could a civilization of humans come up with the ingenuity. I have a ton of faith in human ingenuity and human cooperation to develop amazing things and convert their knowledge into action, like Albert Einstein's insights into special relativity. We still use that state all the time. GPS systems don't work without factoring for the way time flows differently depending on how fast something is moving. And that's just one example of the millions I probably can't even articulate or even know of. But like the idea that we're going to terraform Mars is a gigantic no-go. There's a possibility that we might send a bunch of smart people there to die and become Mars corpses. But sustaining colonies on Mars is, in my opinion, not to say never, but it ain't happening soon. It certainly won't be because of dunderheaded morons like Elon Musk and their gaggles of suck-ups like what's on this call, because they all think that they get to use phrases like multi-planet species and I'm pro-humanity and all this bullshit. Meanwhile, they're all still for it. If you're not for upending the current power structure, and if you're on a Zoom call with Alex Jones, whatever the fuck this is, a Spaces, Twitter Spaces, with Alex Jones and the scoundrel Vivek Ramaswamy, long may he pee, and the world's richest guy, you are simply part of the structure of humanity's destruction, which is overconsumption. Even in a socialist utopia that me and my friends would love to build, we still have to solve the consumption problem. That transcends everything. The way I sort of see it is capitalism will kill us in 200 years. Socialism will probably kill us in 400 or 500 years, meaning we'll slow down the consumption machine, but we still have to, we need somehow to buy ourselves enough time to deal with it. And we have to use technology will be part of the solution. I mean, people warn against saying stuff like that because that just, it feeds the notion that we can continue doing what we're doing and just assuming that we'll develop some sort of technology to fix it all. I'm not saying that, but of course it'll be part of the solution. Of course, that's going to be a part of the whole overall answer to this deal, but we have to solve the consumption thing. We have rapacious consumption under capitalism, but even if we tried to make everybody live in the kinds of excessive what's the word I'm looking for? Not entrapment, trappings, the excessive trappings of what we call modern life, that's not doable for the entire planet, for everybody. I do think it is doable to do dignified, safe, smart, healthy, well-designed buildings and all kinds. I think there's all kinds of amazing things that we can do so that literally everybody can have a high-quality, dignified existence with a tremendous amount of range, just like there is now. But not with people like these in charge. We're not getting to Mars. No way. And it's not a thing that we have to plan for, especially the notion that it's plan B. They did actually talk about that a little bit in here, and I don't know. We're not going to play that. But yeah, Mars is such a hostile place. The air pressure on Mars is like a little bit less than at the top of Mount Everest. You're not shielded by any radiation whatsoever. So just traveling there, we have to figure out how to like protect ourselves from the radiation that long-term space travel is going to expose people to within the near solar system, which is the only place we'll ever be able to travel anyway. Two of the possible solutions for that actually that are really cool are using a comet, like basically building your spaceship out of ice or rock, and that can serve as a shield and as a resource. So like that's kind of a fascinating kind of idea to like build your whole spaceship out of the material that's already out in space and use it to protect yourself, or inducing some kind of magnetic field with technology of some sort that will give the craft a sort of, localized magnetic field that'll help with diverting the radiative, because Earth's magnetic field is this amazing thing. It's this huge pillow of lines that channels the sun's solar energy, largely, not all of it, but a lot of it, the dangerous stuff, especially into the poles. That's what causes the northern lights and the southern lights, the aurora, the borealis as they see. So anyway, Mars is a highly, it's such a, yes, we will probably end up carving residences into the ice caps or into the ground. But yeah, colonizing Mars people think it's just a simple matter of like, oh yeah, just a a few missions. No, it's going to be a whole thing. It ain't going to. And the only way that it is at all possible is if we end capitalism. At all. Humans will not survive the system of production and consumption that is required to justify and maintain the system of production and the overwork that we do. We will not survive burning our productivity engines as fast and as hard as possible, because that capitalism incentivizes running the engine as hot and as fast as possible. It's just bad. It's just stupid. We need to do like orbital economy, not launch economy, if you want to think about it. Like in order, the amount of power it takes to send a rocket, something to escape Earth's gravitational pull, is huge. But once you're up in orbit, you can sustain for pretty low power. You still have to do burns occasionally. They have little jets and stuff that like correct satellite locations, but once you're orbiting, once you're up to speed, you fly real hard. You burn those engines super hard to get off the ground, and then you turn those off, and then you just do adjustments along the way. Capitalism is like burning the engine at its most ferocious and then never not doing that. So we could at least tell the reason I like this metaphor, although it's not that great, but we don't need to do this, but for a lot of people, they want to feel somehow honor the role capitalism has played in people's lives. And I would point out that to any degree that anything got better under capitalism, it's because people fought capitalists and they had to relent eventually. All the things that we like about our world in terms of like having a weekend, having a job protections, the things that are good for people, all of those things were resisted heavily. Not hiring 8-year-olds. Guess who was hiring the 8-year-olds and torturing little children in mines and in loom shops and mill shops and stuff? Fucking capitalists. And they fought it at every stage. They're always the bad guys in every scenario. And even to the degree that it produces stuff that people then use to increase outside of poverty, which itself is a fraught, statistical kind of bullshitty way of assessing whether someone, is benefiting. But all that power that drives capitalism is collectivism. It's just that the decisions are being made by the parasites who've implanted themselves in the brainstem. They make decisions, like the guy who's into the lithium mining, lithium processing or whatever. They just get to maneuver themselves around the way the markets are looking, which is why they're like a lot of private equity is positioning itself to take over hospice care, because the boomers are all going to die off. Hey, market opportunity. Isn't that nice? We get to go do profitable transactions for our fucking dying elderly relatives or people that are about to shuffle off the mortal coil. I don't know. I had to hesitate to parse it. But the degree to which all that work that gets done is by regular ass people who show up and do work collectively. It's still the collective power, is still the engine of capitalism. So it's in fact complete bullshit when they say capitalism did all this for everybody. No, it's not. It's not. They resisted all progress at every stage. And besides, they're not even the ones from whom the energy and the power comes from. They just are in charge of the cognitive part, the part that tells the body what to do, because they control you through coercion and police state, which is enforced by police state violence. So the threat of the monopoly on violence that governments have, that we agree that they should have, is the motivating, animating factor in getting people to have low leverage when it comes time to deal with the way they negotiate the consent conditions of their working conditions. Leverage is about consent, and unions are about changing the consent that you've agreed there, or it is about renegotiating consent with the person whose benefits from state violence, your boss. So doesn't work that way. What am I even saying anymore? I don't know. I had to get it out. Okay, that's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I feel like I said a whole bunch of stupid nonsense that made no sense, and then I'll listen back to it and I'll be like, it wasn't so bad. That's how that works. So thanks for supporting Patreon friends. I love you to death. Can't tell you how much it means to me. Although if you do want to not, that's fine. I would actually encourage that. Why would I encourage that? But keep in there, hang in there with me, not much longer. And the other project will be on the other side of that, which will be really, really great. and things will get back to a little bit more regularity. And meanwhile, I'm gonna do a little Valheim tonight. We're gonna have some fun there, and we'll see if what happens, and we'll try to get those posted too, because that never happens really fast. It always takes time. Why am I talking? I gotta go. Bye bye. See you later.